I'm here to do my January wrap up. I was able to read 6 books in the month of January, and that's very, very good for me. I was not able to complete listening to any audiobook. I've been steadily listening to Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. It just didn't get to listen to it as much as I wanted to this month. I didn't go to school the entire month of January, so I had very, very limited commutes to listen to it, and that's normally when I get a lot of my audiobooks listening done. But I have a lot of books I plan to listen to in February, so check out my February TBR, and that will be the next video that I post. But check out that for more about audiobooks. So the first book that I completed reading in January was Winter by Marissa Meyer. I started this in December, but this book is like 800 pages, so it took me a good 2 weeks to read this, which is to be expected. But I also just did a spoiler discussion about this, so be sure to check it out if you've read it. It's a little bit spoiler, a little bit non-spoiler. The first few minutes is like non-spoiler, and the last is like a series discussion. So be sure you stop yourself if you haven't completed the series. But I really, really like this book. I thought it was a very, very strong conclusion. Marissa Meyer was just able to build and build and build, and this book was really able to encapsulate the entire world that she had created, and I really, really loved it. I loved seeing all the characters again, seeing them get their happy endings, and then finally meeting Winter and meeting her and seeing where her journey went and seeing just how this whole story came together. This is all I also was very happy to see like what happened to Lavanya and it was a very, very well crafted story. So be sure to check out my spoiler review if you want more information. But yeah, I really, really like this book. And even though it was 800 pages, I thought it was a very, very fast paced read. And the next book I read was the Shannara Chronicles by Terry Brooks. This book, the reason I read it, I got this at Comic-Con in October, and he signed it for me. But I wanted to read it before I started the TV show, The Shannara Chronicles, on MTV. So I read it. I gave it 3 stars. I liked it. I liked all, like, the political intrigue and learning about the society, but the battle scenes it just wasn't my thing. I think I got bored very, very easily at points with this book, but I really did like it, and I'm loving the TV show. So maybe I just like battles better when I watch them rather than when I read them. But I hope eventually to complete the series. I still haven't read the first book in the series, but I don't really think you need to. So I definitely will hopefully read the sequel hopefully soon. And then the next book I completed was the Vincis Tiger by L.M. Eliot. This was the Owl Crate unboxing for the month of December for the theme inspired. I liked it. I gave it like 3.5, 4 stars. It was a really, really good book. Basically focused on the relationship between Ginevra de Bencia and Leonardo da Vinci and how she really changed the view of the art world about women and being painted and how her relationship with Leonardo da Vinci really did that. And it also not only gave information about their relationship, but also just about the art scene, Renaissance Italy as well. And it was really, really fascinating. A very, very historically accurate novel. So if you're looking for something like that, I really highly recommend this book. It was also very, very fast, a very, very fast read. It was a little bit historically heavy, so sometimes I got a little bit lost in the details, as I said in my spoiler review, which you can check out. But I overall really, really enjoyed this book. The next book that I read was a sequel, and it was All In by Jennifer Lynn. I really like this book. I gave this book like 5 stars. It was really, really good. I think this is probably one of my favorite books in this series. And this book follows all the kids that you've met in the first 2, which is the Naturals and Killer Instincts. And it takes them to a casino in Nevada where they have to solve a string of brutal murders, and it has an unexpected connection to one of the kids, and it was a really, really fast-paced mystery. I love how these books always have the narrative and then stories that tell the story from the killer's perspective, which is a really, really engaging way. It's a very, very strong psychological mystery. As I said in my spoiler discussion or my spoiler review, it really reminds me of the TV Scorpio. If you like that or enjoy that, I highly recommend you check out this book because it has very, very similar vibes and similar themes going on. But I really, really liked it, and the ending really, really shocked me, so I cannot wait to see what happens in the final book in the series, because the next book will be the last one. I'm so disheartened to hear that, because I really, really like these books. I think that they're super fun and super engaging and super creative and super heart-pounding. Like, I finished this book in like 2 or 3 days, because I just could not wait to know what happens. After All In, I then read The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey, and if you've been living under a rock, this book recently came out to be a movie, and I had to read it before I saw the movie, and I was lucky that we had a snowstorm, so I couldn't go see the movie. So hopefully I'll get to see it in the next 2 weeks, and I'll be able to give you my thoughts about the movie. If you guys want that, comment below, and I'll happily do it. I just don't know if you guys are interested in that. But I really, really like this book. Give this book like 4.5 stars. I really liked it. There was a little bit of insta-love that kind of threw me off in the spin, but overall I really, really liked it, and I forgot how much I really, really thoroughly enjoyed dystopian novels. So if you haven't read a whole lot of dystopian novels or haven't read a whole lot about aliens, you might want to try this book out because I think it's a really, really strong novel and a strong series. And hopefully I'll get to read The Infinite Sea soon. And the last book I was able to complete in January was Passenger by Alexandra Bracken, and this is the first book in her new duology. And this is basically a time traveling adventure, and there's two lead characters, Etta, a 21st century girl, and Nicholas, an African American male that was born in the 1700s, around there, I think. It's not super clear, but I think that's when he was born. And it follows them on an adventure to try to get an Astra Blade back so that she can save her mom. And that's like just a very, very brief premise of this novel, but it was really, really good. I gave it like 4.5 stars. I really, really liked it. The world building by the end was super strong, but I think I just needed a little bit more clarity in some aspects to be able to give this 5 stars. But I am super, super excited for the next book, and the unexpected presence of Nicholas and his journey really made this book even more emotional and even more gut-wrenching. So again, a little bit of insta-love, probably a little bit more than The Fifth Wave, but once you grew to really enjoy the characters, I think that it is able to easily understand. And then I haven't finished it yet, but I started Lumena by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, and this is a book that is written in entirely documents and emails, so there's no real narrative, but I will talk more about this in my February TBR. So this is what I'm reading now, and this is a big monster of a book, so hopefully I'll get to complete this soon. But those are all the things that I finished reading in January, or read in January and started reading in January. But let me know what's the coolest thing you guys read in January. What do you guys hope to read in February? But I'll talk to you guys later.